Life's all about moments of impact and how they change our lives forever. But what if one day you could no longer remember any of them?
The thing that probably hit me the most was the fact that this could happen to anybody at any time. I mean, I think that I've always believed that, and this sounds cliche, but we really are the sum of our experiences, and having those ripped away from us, I mean, we're still who we are, but the way we're tied to other people is gone. And in this case, it hasn't been totally erased because it's only erased from half of the party. So one person, in this case Leo, still has all of his memories and experiences with his wife Paige intact, but she's lost them. And I think it could happen in a couple, it could happen with your child, it could happen with your parents. I thought this was a more universal way to be able to relate to the problem.
It's okay. You're in the hospital. You were in a car accident.
Was anyone else hurt, Doctor?
There's all these big gaping holes in my life and my past that I have to start trying to put the pieces back together, but no one's really filling me in. So it's difficult.
I'm your husband.
And that's kind of a driving force, through the whole movie, is you're waiting for this epiphany, you're waiting for that light bulb moment. It doesn't necessarily come.
You said things were very good.
A brain injury isn't like a broken bone or laceration. Brains are much less predictable. Sometimes, due to the way the swelling tissue presses against the skull, it can cause some impairment.
Some impairment? She doesn't remember me.
If there's trauma to the head, blood trauma to the head, it's going to shake up your brain cells, and it can cause dysfunction. Now, if it hits memory centers of the brain, that is going to affect your memory. And it depends on which area of the brain, it depends on the degree of the trauma, that will determine the extent of the memory loss and how chronic it may become.
Even though she's awake, the swelling can cause confusion or memory loss, erratic mood swings.
What?
But that's normal.
In her case, as in any case of severe trauma, memory can be profoundly affected. It can be anterograde memory, where she has loss of memory, just learning new information, or it can be retrograde, where there's a loss of memory of events prior to the trauma.
Look, what I remember is being in law school and being engaged to Jeremy.
It's a really painful experience what they both have to go through. It must be really scary for her. She doesn't know her husband. She doesn't know this life that she's been living for 5 years. She doesn't know why she wasn't talking to her parents or her family. And she sort of has to rediscover all this.
Okay, but I don't know you. And I'm just supposed to get in your car and go and live at your place?
It's our place.
Without any proof of us even being in love.
Other than our marriage? After the accident, they start to, go in almost two different directions. It's hard to gauge what reality would be and be an understanding husband, and then also be able to gauge how real things would be. Her life with me is her normal routine.
Now, why not let her come home and recover with people that she knows?
Loves.
I think what makes it really interesting, the fact that they come from two different backgrounds, is that when she slips back in her own progression, sort of as a person, she almost slips back into being somebody else, somebody who he's not familiar with, somebody who has different priorities and values.
Which is why it was probably pretty annoying to have her stranger husband cockblock her all night.
That is a lot to get my mind around.
She's an artist when we meet her, and kind of bohemian, and what she remembers was being in law school, being engaged to an attorney.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was not expecting that.
A habit, I guess.
When we think of trauma to the brain, we often think of it just affecting memory. But the brain controls a lot of different mental functions. It controls language ability, attention, mood, personality. And so it depends on the part of the brain that is affected. So for example, here's an area of the brain, it's called the temporal lobe. It's right underneath the temples. That's an important memory center. And in fact, it's very much connected to an area called the amygdala, which is an emotional center of the brain, which is why emotional memory is so strong and powerful.
So, your memory recall, anything?
Not really.
No, huh?
That's not normal, is it?
Listen, when it comes to the brain, nothing is normal.
In terms of personality, there's another area of the brain, and it may be that there was more temporary damage to this temporal area affecting memory.
What I've been trying to do is pinpoint the last memory I had before everything just went blank.
How's that going?
I guess people who have brain trauma and memory loss really feel inadequate, and they get really frustrated when they can't remember things.
What are you doing?
Suddenly, this person who used to make you feel so good, suddenly everything attached with them it's all anxiety and frustration and confusion, and those are the qualities that you link with this person you used to love.
I get it. It'll all come back. We just have to keep doing what we're doing. Let you fall back into your life. It'll all sort itself out. Like, you know, your wife is all of a sudden doesn't know you, and she's just like, who are you? Like, what? I don't know what to do with this. I'm trying to help you! But I'm not your punching bag. You can't be Buddha always, you know? You will lose your temper. You will, like, absolutely lose your reasoning. There's nothing wrong with her. Like, she doesn't have brain damage in that way where it doesn't seem like she's Paige. Everything is exactly the same, but it's just her memory's gone of you. You can't remember how we met. Mm-hmm. And you can't remember how we fell in love. And in a way, yeah, that sucks. But it was the greatest time of my life. I just thought how cool it would be to get to experience it all over again.
Like reading your favorite book for the first time.
Exactly.
We often talk about emotional memory, and in fact, a key memory center of the brain is right next to the emotional center of the brain. And sometimes conveying feelings of love, conveying emotional memories will help with the person's amnesia.
I love you.
Just the knowledge that you love them doesn't mean a lot. So, you know, Paige goes through all these phases where, you know, of disbelief at first and complete denial of him to, okay, let's give it a shot. And then when that doesn't work, you know, trying to muscle her way through it, and then eventually both of them giving up when it's apparent that it's just, her memory's just not coming back.
I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm so tired of disappointing you.
I know.
The mountain you have to climb to get over that is huge.
I hope one day I can love the way that you love me.
You figured it out once. You'll do it again.
I think sometimes it's easier to not be around them. They just sort of make you feel bad about yourself, even though they're trying so hard to help you. So it's a really frustrating position for both of them to be in.
You know, that all he was doing was just creating more pain for her. And that takes a lot of love for somebody to, like, you just want them to be happy. I'm done. It's over. I give up.
Well, you never give up, Leo.
No, if we were meant to be together, we would be together.
Any kind of memory loss has an emotional effect on patients and family members. The Leo character, it's very realistic what he was going through in the film, in that he has to experience the loss of his loved one. The person's there physically, but emotionally they're not there, and that's very frustrating. There's also the possibility maybe he could do something to turn this around, and the frustration and not being able to do that is very difficult. So a whole range of emotions come into play when people have to deal with memory loss.
And in the beginning, he's holding on too tight, and then he learns to let go. And very hard thing for him to do, not knowing if she'll make her way back or not.
I hope you didn't come all the way into the city for hot chocolate.
Actually, I moved back here 6 months ago.
I think for family members and friends, they should not feel that it's a burden on them to bring back the individual's memory. But still, they can do certain things that might be helpful.
You accepted me for who I am, and not for what you wanted me to be.
I just want you to be happy. Nothing is irreparable. I think that Leo just believes in love so much and believes in their love that no matter what, even if her memory never comes back, that there's no reason why they wouldn't fall in love all over again. It's just fun. We just get to do this all over again.